an audio medium unlike anything you've ever heard before. The pinnacle of sound experience. Jacked and Canned. Featuring John Tessman and Colby Tyler. A place where you will get the information you crave and hear about the topics that you love. Presented by themselves. Coming to you from the basement, bar, and the bedroom. Sponsored by no one. Jacked and Canned.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jacked and Canned, joined as always by the great, the infamous Jonathan Tessman. John, how are we doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing a lot better now, man. Before the pre-show, ladies and gents, if you saw it, I was a little stressed. I'm a little high octane. I'm coming off of a crazy work week, which is good. I love what I do, but I'm ready for a little DL time. I'm ready for a little J&C time. That means Jacked and Canned. That means John and Colb's connecting. We got you for the next 40 minutes. Colbs, can I give a little teasers of some things that I want to mention on the pod?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, buddy.
So I don't know if you heard in the headlines, but somebody jumped off of a cruise ship. I want to just touch on that because there's a video that got released, and holy freaking crap. That's all I got to say to that, okay? And to make it even worse, Colbs, I was on that very cruise ship about a month ago.
Oh, I thought you were going to say when it happened.
No, that was the one that I was just on when I went down to New Orleans, when I couldn't do the pod with you that week. I was down there.
Enough.
So I want to mention that, and I want to get your take on that situation, right? Also, too, Stone Cold Steve Austin might be coming back to wrestle a match at WrestleMania, and a lot of people are saying this is real. A lot of people say it's real. So I want to talk about that a little bit with you, Coles. Those are the two topics that I got for you, my friend. I know you got a couple of topics as well, so you want to give some teasers?
Yeah, some of the stuff that I want to talk about with you tonight, John, because we didn't get to do it with the Super Bowl episode, and a lot of this was because I said let's wait on it. I want to talk about the intro by The Rock to introduce the teams for the game. I want to talk about the halftime show, and I have tons on the halftime show.
Yes.
I want to talk a little bit about Brady, and as always, we're going to be cracking a cold one with Colbs. So, John, why don't we start with the guy that jumped off a cruise ship? What the hell?
Dude, so I saw the headlines and I didn't know if I could believe it, right? And I watch a lot of the cruise ship breaking news and stuff because, during the pandemic.
That's what you do in your spare time?
But that's what I do. I don't know why, but that's just a hobby that I do. It's my bathroom time, I guess. I have it playing when I go and take a shower, and I want to hear what's going on in the cruise industry. Don't ask me why, but that's what I do. I should probably be listening to a little bit more sports content so I have some more material.
You probably should.
I probably should, but you know what? We're talking about something completely different because that's what Jack and Cam's about, right? So, dude, freaking get this. I don't know the background story. I'm not going to speculate on it, but what happened was somebody went overboard on the Carnival cruise ship. I think it was the Carnival Valor. From the headlines, as long as they're right. And if it is, I was just on that boat literally like a month ago, and I saw some of the videos. I'm like, holy crap. I was like standing at that general area. So all you see is a lady that looks like she's handcuffed to me. You see a security. All of a sudden, she's walking around the boat, and the next thing you know, there's a whole bunch of people leaning over the edge, and all you see in the video is one of those little life jackets, not a life jacket. Help me out. Life preserver, life
preserver,
life preserver, thrown over the boat. Colbs, dude, I'm guessing that she jumped over the boat. Who knows the situation, right? And I feel terrible for her family. That's just a horrible situation. But my God, I could not imagine accidentally going over the boat. I couldn't imagine purposely, intentionally getting into a brawl with somebody and ending up over the boat. That seems like my new worst fear because I thought about it. Imagine going over a boat, any kind of boat, Colbs, in the middle of the ocean.
I'm assuming this is probably nighttime as well.
This was daytime.
Well, then that's a little bit better. But I'm telling you, at nighttime, that sea is way more scary than it is during the day.
Oh, I would not be okay. I mean, I don't know how to float. I don't know how to swim. Ocean waves seem really intense to
You don't
me.
know how to swim?
I don't know how to swim like that in the ocean. I feel like ocean swimming is completely different from pool swimming. Like, I don't know. It's just,
I mean, obviously the current's different, but you do the same motions. I
but,
thought you meant that you legitimately just didn't know how to swim.
but Colbs, could you imagine just being there? Like the thoughts, there's nothing around you. Like, what the frig? Like, you just, oh,
Oh yeah, it'd be terrible. I'm not telling you that this is a scenario where I feel like I'd be good and I'm just like, oh yeah, no, I can handle that. I don't know what the hell I'd do either. But when you originally said everything, I thought you were doing this at the nighttime, which is even more terrifying because you can't tell one bit what's underneath the water when you're in there at nighttime. There's just nothing that you can see.
no. And I am not on board. We don't know what's in the ocean. I want to keep it that way. I mean, kind of flipping this around, like if there was a cool little underwater city, like a real life Atlantis, that'd be cool to check out and stuff, like vacation mode. But I don't
Even
even.
that it
No,
can stay there. I don't need to know about it.
in all honesty, now that I just thought about that, right? Like, I think I'm good. Like the extent of the ocean for me, man. Yeah, I like cruise ships and everything, and that's why I ended up hearing about it. But the Little Mermaid is probably the extent of sea life that I want to encounter. The Disney movie, like just the Little Mermaid, like that's enough for me. That's enough sea creatures, fish, all those kind of things. I'm
If it's
scared.
Disney animated, we're good with it.
If it's Disney, we're good. Jaws, questionable. Jaws is even questionable. Which, by the way, real quick, I just want to talk about that for 2 minutes. Why the hell haven't they made a new Jaws movie? They make all new
Well,
spin-offs of everything else.
my assumption would be more or less that they're probably trying to create a new shark for the movies because we saw with like Deep Blue Sea, the CGI was, it's kind of cheesy. And I think they would want to recreate Jaws in the way that Jaws was originally done, where they had an actual robotic shark, who's by the way, his name was Bruce, in case you didn't know that, John.
Hey,
So,
Brucey.
yep. Which, by the way, if you ever watch Finding Nemo, I think that was an homage to that with the shark in Finding Nemo being named Bruce. But point of it being is I think that they would want to make it a little bit more realistic or at
Yeah.
least something closer. I mean, CGI has come a long way, so it could potentially be that, but I don't know. That is a good question, though, John. In all seriousness, I don't know why they're doing all these new spin-offs of everything. You're seeing everything from Jurassic Park to even things newer, Scream, Friday the 13th. You're seeing Halloween. It's about time we get another Jaws, right?
Well, I'm with you there. What did you think about the original Screams? Now, mind you, what there was like 4 of them, 5
Oh,
of
we
them.
we already had this conversation, John. I love
Well,
the first one.
compared to what do you think about the idea of a new one coming out though? As like, it seems like they're all
Oh,
doing
I'm
it. Like,
good with it. I
yeah,
honestly, I think that Scream is one of those kind of captivating movies that can go for all of time in the same way that you get with the Freddy and the Jason movies, where you can just
gotcha.
keep remaking them because they are remakeable. You don't need to change much of the storyline. You can just keep doing the same thing and just have a slightly different story. All you got to do is come
Actors.
up with a different plot. Yeah, different plot, different actors, but it's the same general premise. You don't have to
That's
change much.
that's kind of sad to think about. Like the movie can run for like 50 years, and they'll get all new actors. Like, yeah, my grandma had to deal with this, and it's like
You
the
know what
poor
I'm really
actors.
waiting for, John, is for them to start remaking really old shit like The Birds, some of the Hitchcock movies, and
Mm.
like redo Psycho. And I know that they tried to do Bates Motel, but I mean, let's not do it in TV show form. They tried that with Scream too, and it's just not the same. You got to do it as movies. I'm telling you, horror movies are meant to be hour and a half long movies. They're not meant to be TV series.
What about Chucky?
Yeah, Chucky worked. I thought about it as I was in the middle of that. I'm like, damn it, I already jinxed myself here.
Did you know I was going to go there?
Pretty much as soon as you put a hand up, I was like, ah, shit, he already figured it out too.
So, hey, man, let's go ahead and transition this into a little bit of a lighter note. I know we kind of started it off dark, but seriously, though, I feel terrible for her family and everything. That's miserable. You're out on vacation. Like, what the frig? That should never happen. So, hopefully, they can take a look at that and prevent anything like that happening again in the future. But that just seems about like my new worst fear ever. I can't imagine anything else. So, I'm going
What
to have
about that lighter
nightmares.
note, John?
Yeah. lighter note. Let's go ahead. Let's transition into that, right? So, oh, Colbs, I got to sneeze. What the hell? Stone Cold Steve Austin. Take it
Yep,
over
so
for me while I sneeze and
he
mute
might be
myself.
oh, it's fine. So he might be taken in at WrestleMania. So that's exciting because we often see guys like the Hulk or Hulk Hogan, rather, not the Hulk. We see Hulk Hogan, we see The Rock come back from time to time. So what is it that Stone Cold Steve Austin has put out there that's promoting that he's going to be in
Well,
WrestleMania?
it's not so much what Stone Cold Steve Austin is doing on his end. It's Kevin Owens. Have you heard of that? You heard of
The
him
name
as well?
rings a bell, but I wouldn't be able to sit here and tell you who that is.
All right, so Kevin Owens' like finishing move now is the stunner, which still feels weird to me because that
Yeah, that's Stone
belongs.
Cold's move. Everybody else, go bleep yourself.
Like it just doesn't. Some of them just have to be retired, like the rock bottom. Like it's called the rock
Yeah,
bottom. Like
yeah, I don't wanna watch people running out there doing the people's elbow. Like
yeah,
like, it's specific to one guy. Don't do it. I don't wanna
y-
see a pedigree. There's certain moves that are just meant for one person.
like NFL, NBA, MLB, really all the major sports, right? They retire jerseys. The WWE should retire finishing moves, but yet again, you probably wouldn't have any new moves. And something would just be silly like the fast punch, bam, and that would be like
You
a
know, in all seriousness though, John, I think you're on the right track. They should retire those moves because these guys are coming up with more and more creative shit all the time. Anytime that I watch a recent match of any kind, I'm like, holy shit, their finishing move is like an acrobatic stunt. Like, I feel
yeah,
like they should have a stunt man out there doing it for them. So
dude.
these guys have gotten so athletic, and I know that's happened across all the sports. You remember when a suplex was a finishing move?
Yeah, yeah, yep.
It's ridiculous now, man. But why is Stone Cold getting into WrestleMania?
So, from all the headlines, all the rumors out there, Kevin Owens has been tweeting stuff and he's been talking about things all year, I guess, about Texas, and he's been knocking Texas. I have no idea. The WrestleMania is probably in Texas then, right? That's what makes sense to me. So he's been doing that, and he's like, Texas has nothing good or whatever. His recent tweet that he ended up putting out, it's pretty much right in line against Stone Cold, right?
Yep, the
That's
Texas rattlesnake.
yeah. So it's one of those things. Texas rattlesnake, like you just mentioned, and you never know how true these things are, right? Because I feel like these have been popping up every year. Everybody's been teasing, oh, Hulk Hogan's going to come back. But this time seems a little bit different.
You know what? I'm going to say this on record here. I think that for all of time, Hulk Hogan and The Rock will always, forever be coming back.
It's so true. So true.
They'll be dead and they'll still be making it to WrestleMania.
That 100% true, right? So this one though, it just has more feelings of that way because it's like, why are they specifically saying Texas? And they're like, Texas has never had anything good. Texas is, and I'm like, now it's starting to make sense. So they're actually having some good writing, and it has me enticed for the first time in like years. Like the last time I think I brought up anything, it was like Sting or something, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty.
Well,
cool.
yeah,
Sting's cool.
they have to do something because at this point, Jericho and that whole what is it? What's the league? I never remember the name.
AEW.
AEW. Those guys, they've pretty much overtaken the WWE at this point. Like, I'm sure the money doesn't quite match up, but it can't be far off because they have captured. They've been a more gifted show as far as what they're presenting to the audience, and I think that they've stolen away a large chunk of the fans. So for the WWE to be able to do something to keep up, to maintain, yeah, you got to bring out some of the classics. You have to do something to generate some oh my god moments. And you know what does that better than anything else? Go ahead, bring back your 50-year-old superstar that's one of the best of all time.
Yeah, I think Stone Cold right now, if I'm not mistaken, he's almost 60. He's 57 years old.
Oh dear God. Oh my God. I hate that we're getting old, John.
Colbs, it doesn't feel right, man. It doesn't feel right. Something is like way off with that. So you're telling me when we were like little babies, right? When we were pooing our pants, Stone Cold was out there with just dropping some serious stunners on people. Stone Cold was 27 years old, holding up the middle fingers, or he was Stone Cold stunning Steve at that point.
I hate that once upon a time that was going on, and I think back to how young we were because we were like what 7, 8 years old watching Stone Cold Steve Austin, maybe
Yeah,
not
dude.
even. And like at this point, it's like, oh my God, he's almost 60. That's one of my first idols, man.
Well, it's funny because there was a video that leaked out of Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan walking into, I don't know, I think it was Tampa, Florida, but it was a local bar. And I was like, what? And Flair was feeling his vibe. Flair was flaring it up, man. I'm telling you, you have to look up the video on YouTube afterwards. I think it was at a karaoke bar. I would have lost my freaking mind, which, ladies and gents, me and Colbs, if we ever come out of retirement for a karaoke night, you're in for a special treat, especially if we have our Ric Flair robes on. Toys R Us, shout out to you. We miss you.
John, you lost your robe.
I know. But it's with me in spirit forever. So I can't complain, Colbs. It's always going to be with me. I might not be wearing it, but it's still with me. So, dude, what else do we want to talk about before we go ahead and crack a cold one?
Yeah, before we get in there with cracking a cold one, because we're going to come back after the break. We're going to do cracking a cold one. We're going to talk about the halftime show, and I want to talk a little bit about Tom Brady as well. But before we get to that halftime break here, if you will, John and I are going to talk a little bit about The Rock's intro. Now, I heard a lot of people saying, because John, remember the reaction that we had?
Yeah.
We said, holy shit, he still got it. Like,
Yeah.
he's still The Rock when he wants to be The Rock. I heard a lot of people saying that they didn't find it fun, that they didn't find it interesting, that they actually thought that The Rock came out there and was just being cheesy. And I'm like, how?
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, what do you mean cheesy? What do you mean that this was just over promoted? That's what The Rock does. It's what he's done his whole career.
Yeah, that's.
And there's people, John, you would send me something where they were like the guy from whatever game or movie, whatever the hell you had mentioned to me, where people were pretending they don't even know who he is, other like outside of wrestling. Like they just think of him as
Fortnite.
Yeah, Fortnite.
They said it's the Fortnite
right.
guy. That's what they said.
I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, hey, if you don't know who The Rock is, you're just stupid. I don't have any sympathy for you. You're not doing it right if you don't know who The Rock is. But if you think that what The Rock just did, introducing those teams for halftime, if you think that was anything other than what The Rock does, then you don't understand The Rock, because that's exactly what The Rock does. Yeah, it was a lot of cliches. It was a lot of just garbage talk. That's what The Rock does. The most electrifying man in sports entertainment. Like, what else do you want him to do? Like, did you want him to do a backflip or some shit? Like, what were we missing?
I mean, it would have been kind of cool. This is just, I don't know, maybe some wrestling writing that could take place. If The Rock went over and literally put a rock bottom down on every single official that was standing there, and then he was the only one nominated to be the official, and he swayed the results for the Bengals to win, to get massive heat over the Rams fans.
And then they replay the Super Bowl or WrestleMania.
And you're going to play the Super Bowl at WrestleMania, and you're going to have WrestleMania in Los Angeles. Coach, tell me this is not.
Special guest referee.
Tell me exactly. Yes. Matthew Stafford's going to be the special guest referee. Give a low blow. Oh, my God, man.
Dude, I just don't get it. How do people not like that? I mean, I think that you come to these events for entertainment, and what The Rock offers you is the premium of entertainment delight. And then you go and shit on the entertainment. Like that was the coolest entrance to a Super Bowl I think I've ever seen.
That was cool too. They tried something different, right? Like typically it's, I don't know, it's not that appealing. I think they did a great job, even including the halftime show, which, by the way, we're going to talk about the Super Bowl halftime show after our halftime show. After our halftime show goes, which is going to be cracking a cold one with Colbs. So, ladies and gents, stick around. We'll be back in just a little bit here. About 30 seconds. We're going to crack a cold one with Colbs. Colbs, you ready to crack one, Bubs?
You're goddamn right I am.
Woo!
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Crack It a Cold One with Kolbs. This is the segment where John is going to tell the audience something that he finds fun or interesting. I am going to drink a beer. John, what do you have?
Colbs, The Rock, 49 years old. He's almost the big 5-0, so he's still in his prime, right? 40s is still in your prime. That's the way I look at it. What do you think? Oh, you're taking a mid-sip.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was drinking the beer, John. Yes, what I think is that The Rock is absolutely in his prime, and there is nothing you can do to stop that. The Rock is going to continue being The Rock for all of time. I don't care if he's in every movie and on every TV show that is on network television. Does not matter. I'm for it.
I remember seeing him and I was like, my God, his arms are huge. He looks bigger than he's ever been before. And
Looks
this is
bigger than the monsters on the football field.
yeah, like I don't know what's going on. Like it looks like he could play out there at any point. I mean, he'll probably blow out his quads like we were talking about the other day.
I don't know, man. I've seen the thing is that I know that he was a backup to Warren Sapp in college. So I know that he's clearly just not as talented as some of the elite NFL players as far as playing football. But I mean, you can't tell me that the man wouldn't be able to go out there and make a couple of plays, even at his age now.
No, yeah, I'm with you. The reason why I said blowing out the quads because the last episode we were talking about Vince McMahon in that funny clip with him running down there just sitting in the ring. Anyways,
Yeah.
enough about wrestling, man. Let's go ahead here. Let's talk a little bit about that whoa,
Yeah,
let me
hey,
hit the
we gotta
brakes.
crack a cold one here. I mean, and granted, I did the beer drinking part, but that wasn't just to drink the beer.
Hey,
So we're cracking a cold one tonight because, and I know that I've talked about this a few times on the show, but my sleep pattern is all sorts of messed up, John. I have last night, for example, I fell asleep on this couch right here behind me, and I woke up. I had probably fallen asleep around midnight. I woke up at about 4:30, and I woke up to my foot falling off the couch and slamming onto the ground in a way that startled me. And then I ended up staying up from 4:30 to 7:30. So I just can't figure it out, man. Like I keep being tired at certain times and I'm sleeping well when I'm tired. And then I wake up and it's not the right time to wake up, but I can't fall back asleep. People just don't get old. Don't turn 30. Please just don't do it. Whatever it takes to not do it, just don't because it just goes downhill so damn quickly.
As we're talking about how good The Rock looks, we're over here talking about 30 years old and how it doesn't look that great on us scopes. Come on,
No,
man. We got to give some
no,
hope.
it really doesn't.
I know. I'm with you. I'm with you 100% there. You get more of the light headaches now, even when you don't even have any drinks. It's like, what does this even mean? Why do I even have a minor headache? What is this? Ibuprofen? Like, I never used to take that. Vitamin C, D, E, iron.
I've been taking ibuprofen for quite some time. I got on that one early. I was like, you know what? This will be good for me.
Fair enough, man. I love it.
All right, John. So before we get into the halftime show, I just want to bring up Tom Brady real quick. So we didn't get a chance to really talk about this, but Tom Brady recently did an interview, and I believe it was with Peter King. It might have been Greg Cosell, but I think it was Peter King, in which he said that he's not shutting the door. He said, well, yeah, I think I'm done, but we'll see how I feel in 6 months.
What?
To me, that sounds like Brady might not be done because I can't picture the guy sitting around. And I know we talked about it when you were over here for the Super Bowl, but we didn't talk about it too much in depth. And all I can think to myself is with a man that's as driven as Tom Brady and that always is looking for the spot for him to go create more success for himself in his football career, because he's already had the most successful NFL career of all time. There's no disputing that. And if you want to try to, that's on you because you're not looking at this game right. But when we look at Tom Brady now, we say, okay, 45 years old. Can he take a year off and come back? Can he just sit out for the next 6 months and then join a team? Can he wait till towards the end of the season, hop onto a team that maybe just needs a quarterback because they had their guy go down? Let's just say, for example, like the Chargers or 13-4, and then Justin Herbert gets hurt in week 17. Like,
Wow.
we look at
That's
all sorts of
interesting.
scenarios where Brady could come back, and I just think that the way he put that makes it sound to me like Tom Brady's not done. And I will be sitting here once again telling you that Tom Brady, when I pass away one day, Tom Brady will still be out here winning Super Bowls. The man just won't stop playing football. There's nothing that's going to stop him. And because of the way that he treats his body and the way he takes care of himself, I don't think that anything can stop him. There, I said it. Man's going to play forever, literally forever.
I want that so badly. I really, I pull for that kind of stuff. I love it. I love that when somebody beats the odds, especially when it comes to age. Dude, because I feel like a lot of people, when they do retire, they still have so much more potential. And it's like, damn, just you kind of miss seeing that person perform. Now, for Tom Brady, if he does end up coming back and he's playing until he's like 50, oh my God, I don't even know. I mean, it would, Colbs, I think it would break the way NFL contracts are set, because they're like, yeah, look at Tom Brady. All right, well, he really set the tone. And if you can't play till you're 50, if we can't lock you up to your 50, then we don't want you.
Oh, no,
you're not getting the money.
Nobody's going to expect anybody else to do that. At this point, teams are psyched if they get a guy to play till 35 on their team. So, like, if you're like, say, for example, Joe Burrow, we just watched him in the Super Bowl. He's young. If the Bengals can keep him till he's 35, they are psyched about that. Yeah. There's no question. They said they will look at that and say, we did our job. We did good. And that's all you can ask for. Nobody's asking these guys to play till they're 50. Nobody's asking for you to come in and play 25 years in the NFL at quarterback. It's just not realistic. But Tom Brady's also not realistic.
True. That would be cool to see him come back, and even if it's on a couple of 1-year contracts, I guess you could say. So I'm hopeful for him to keep on doing it. And
well, he's only played for 2 team Johns. As far as I'm concerned, he's got 30 more he can go play for real quick.
That's what I'm saying, man. So I'm totally on board with that. He could be kind of what Ricky Henderson was to baseball. Just always be around.
Ricky Henderson end up playing on like a minor league team too, just because?
He did. So that's totally fine with me. So Tom Brady, you heard that here. You want to go to the USFL? Yes. You want to go to the XFL? Double yes. The Rock will be out there introducing you on the field. That's totally fine.
If you want me to watch the XFL, yeah, go ahead. Bring in Brady. I will be there. I want to watch the man play football my whole life. I don't know what to do without him. I already hate what I'm hearing, that he's not currently on a team, and I'm like, this is terrible. Like, what the hell do I do? So, yeah, I want to see Tom Brady wherever the hell he's playing.
Dude, I'm excited. Football's getting a lot more attention with the USFL starting with XFL. They have arena football leagues now popping up all over the place. Scopes, they actually have one over here in Worcester, Massachusetts. I think it's the Worcester Pirates.
The Arena Football League back 15 years ago or so was actually a fun watch. I did enjoy that. And granted, it was a much different style game, but it was fast-paced and a very small field. And I thought it just promoted entertainment.
Would you want to go to a game with me? It's up in Worcester.
Yeah, I mean, Worcester's about an hour from me. So, yeah, I could see myself going there.
All right, man. So we might have to take a look at some of the dates up there. I might be picking you up. We might be going to see a Arena Football League. Cobes, I'll just throw you out there on the field, see what happens. Fullback, baby.
Yeah, fullback. I'm too small to play fullback, John. Maybe running back, but no chance of me playing fullback. I cannot pick up a blocker. Like, I can do the physical thing of getting in the guy's way, but I am not strong enough.
Oh, Colbs, come on, man. Start hitting the weights again. Hitting the gym, man.
John, I could lift weights from now until the end of my life, and I won't be strong enough. I'm 5'4", John. I weigh 160 pounds. Let's just pretend I put on 30 pounds of muscle. I'm still not big enough.
That's totally okay, man. Protein every day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You're having a protein shake. We're getting you on a new balanced diet.
Oh, okay.
That's all it's going to be. That's it. So I could hope that he does come back. Colbs, if he doesn't come back, Madden, the video game Madden, if you're listening, just keep him in the game, just in case if he does come back. Who cares if you end up bumping down his stats a little bit?
But keep Brady on the game.
You got to.
He could be a free agent. It's fine. Just
Yeah.
somebody you'll have to sign him. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
So at least if they could keep him in the game, it keeps him relevant for all of the fans.
And by the
So
way, if he doesn't come back this year, also put him on the next Madden game also.
yes, keep on doing it. Like it just has to keep on doing. And don't do the legends thing, like Cope said, an
Oh,
active
yeah.
free agent.
No, active free agent. You can sign him to any team because let's be real, he's coming back. He's going to play forever.
That's it. That's it, Cobes. Hey, real quick, swapping over here to NBA. Damn, Cobes. I don't know if the Lakers are going to make it now. AD.
Well, they just won last night against Utah, which oddly enough is
He
the
got
second
hurt.
time they've beaten them. And that is the only good team they've beaten all season. They beat them twice. So they must have a thing for beating Utah. So I don't know how we position ourselves to become the 5th seed so we get to play Utah. But yeah, the Lakers got a thing for beating them, evidently, and I'm okay with that because that's at least a sign of hope. I looked at their schedule, and they don't have easy games coming up, but they have games that are very big for them. They play the Clippers twice in the next 5 games. They played the Timberwolves, which are the 2 teams that are right in front of them in the playoff rankings right now. They're the 7 and 8 seeds. So, I mean, the Lakers have a chance right now to really jump up there and take a playoff position. So we'll see what happens. I mean, they have one of those 5 games against the Warriors, and I'm just writing that off as a loss already. But the other 4 games, I want to say it's 2 against the Clippers, 1 against the T-Wolves, and I think Portland is the other one. So they have a chance here to really make an impact. And then even after that Warriors game and their second Clippers game, they actually play some more games against winnable opponents. So the Lakers, in theory, could go on a hot streak right now. But the thing is they could have several times this season, and they haven't. They've had a couple of 4-game win streaks, but it's just been against garbage teams. And this time they're going to have to do it where they're playing teams that aren't garbage. They're not necessarily the best in the league, but not garbage. So they have to show up. They have to go out there and play. There's some talks John Wall might be making his way over there if he gets bought out. So we'll see what happens, but I'll be honest, I really don't have a lot of faith right now, John. I'm kind of just waiting and hoping.
Do you think their hope is a little bit hindered with the whole Anthony Davis injury?
What exactly happened to AD? Because I haven't seen a full update on him.
Yeah, it's an ankle injury. We don't know exactly what it is. Some sort of a foot injury. He's going to end up being.
You got about as much as I do.
He's going to be reevaluated in 4 weeks, so it looks like he's going to be out for a little while here. So,
well, yeah, that's going to bring us to the end of the season. So, yeah, he's done, and that's ultimately I didn't know, John. So that is breaking news for me. But I mean, ultimately, that's part of the issue with AD is that he has problems staying healthy. The season we won the championship, keep in mind, that's when COVID hit. And so everybody got to take a huge break. So they were able to keep AD healthy. LeBron was able to be healthy. They were able to get to the end of the year by health just because they got a huge break for a virus. That's a freak scenario that you're not often going to see, especially in the midst of a NBA season. So I don't anticipate this being positive for them in the long run with AD there, in all seriousness. And I wouldn't be shocked if LeBron starts to look elsewhere as far as to where he might be able to go. And I don't mean this season. I just mean I could see him forcing his way out because obviously if LeBron wants out, he's going to get out.
So the Heat have had some success. Do you see a scenario where LeBron actually goes back to Miami?
I would love to. I don't think that's going to happen just because the Lakers aren't going to give him up without taking back, say, for example, like Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, and then all of a sudden Miami's not as good as they currently are. Or they'd probably ask for like Tyler Hero and Bam. And, I mean, yeah, the Heat would still be good. They'd have LeBron on it and still some main key pieces, but I just don't see how it happens without it being from the free agency market. And LeBron, I believe, is still signed up for another 2 seasons, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't see it really working out that way, but I would love to see him back in Miami. I loved those days, man. That was my favorite time.
What about the Cavs?
I could see it. And that one, I mean, seriously, I don't really know a whole lot of what the Cavs have. I know that they are having a pretty successful season, but I don't really know much of their pieces. Uh, you might know this. The Cavs aren't broadcasted much on national television, and I don't watch all the highlights of every NBA game like I do football. So I wouldn't be able
Damn
to
you,
speak
Colbs.
to, yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh, damn it, Colbs. You're not a Cleveland Cavs expert at all times.
What the
But
frig?
I don't really know what their team's constructed of. So I don't know what pieces are important, what they'd have to give up. I really have no idea how that would be constructed. But from what I have heard LeBron say recently, he wants to at least play till his son is in the league, which is what I've been saying for a couple of years now. And he wants to play with his son, which I thought was really cool. So I wouldn't be shocked if he just hangs out in LA until his son gets drafted and then he makes his way to wherever his son gets drafted and he gets to play with his kid for a little bit. I think that would be really cool.
That'd be awesome. I'd love to see that too. At least one season to make it happen. So,
John,
Colbs.
before we get out of here, we got to talk about this halftime show.
Yes.
John, this was my favorite halftime show that has ever taken place. Oh my God. And you were there to witness it with me. You know, I stand for every football game that I watch anyway, but I could not sit down. Michelle was bouncing around here, dancing to everything. Dude, I don't think they could have done a better job. I will tell you, for one, when that thing started off, I was psyched. I knew it was going to be good. But Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg came on there and they sounded so good, so crisp. It sounded like it was 1994 all over again, man.
Yeah.
Like they did not disappoint. I loved the way that went. And I wasn't sure how it was going to sound because Snoop and Dre are not young guys anymore. And they came out there, they had the same exact voices that they have had their whole careers. That was so cool to hear. And then it kicked over and we had our surprise with 50 Cent and middle finger to everybody that just wanted to sit there and fat shame him. Look, he put on weight. He probably could have done something other than hanging upside down like in the music video. And I get what he was doing. I get why people like I laughed at it too.
I love it.
There's no point in going online and criticizing the guy like he's something's wrong with him because he gained weight. Well, what's 50 Cent, like 46 years old or something like that at this point? Nothing matters.
No. Nothing.
Like it does not matter that this guy's put on a little bit of weight. And this dude that keeps putting this thing in the comment section, go away. I don't want you here. Just throwing that out there. That guy's been here for like several weeks and I'm kind of over him. Like, I don't know what you're typing. I don't know what that means. I don't want to hear it. So I feel like he's fat shaming 50 Cent right now, to be honest with you. So everybody leave 50 alone. He's good. He's fine. Let him have a little bit of excess weight. I don't care. And yeah, he probably was the weakest performer of everybody that came on also, because I don't know if you noticed, but it seemed like after hanging upside down, he was just out of breath for the rest of the performance. But I was fine with it. Mary J. Cool, oh my God, Mary J can still belt out those notes, man.
Yeah.
I was not anticipating that. She came out there and she just wailed on that microphone. And I was like, wow, oh my God, she hasn't lost a step. And I'm going to say this too. She didn't look so bad.
No,
that was pretty good. I mean, she's still a diva, man. Like that was cool to see. And I know that made Michelle happy. Michelle loves Mary J. So that was really cool to see. It kicked it over to Kendrick, and I know that Michelle was definitely least excited about Kendrick because she doesn't know him at all. And I don't think that Kendrick picked the right song to do because I don't think it showcased his talent. And Michelle was even like, I don't think that he should be up here with these guys. And I'm like, Michelle, I'm telling you, the kid's got it. It's just that he's newer, so we don't know him as well because we don't listen to new age hip hop the same way that a lot of the kids do. But Kendrick Lamar, there's really something to him. He's lyrically gifted. I'm telling you, he is. And he just didn't really showcase what his talent was. But I thought he put on a hell of a show. I loved watching him do what he did.
Absolutely.
And again, I don't think that was the best showcase of his talent, but I think that was an awesome representation of what he can be as a showman. And then, Oh, did it come to Eminem? Oh, it came to Eminem. And I just wish that they wouldn't always make Eminem play Lose Yourself. Like, I want to watch him do another song just because he's got so many good songs. And I thought he'd play something newer just because it's been like 15, 20 years since he did Lose Yourself. I thought that he would play something newer. And granted, I love Lose Yourself, but here's the funny thing, John. Half the time I forget the lyrics, and it's because of two reasons. One of which, I stopped listening to Lose Yourself because I'm so sick of people playing Lose Yourself as if that's the only song that Eminem can do. And also because once Fleminem came out with a parody of that, there are times when I start doing the lyrics and I start singing Flem's song instead of Eminem's, and I'm like, damn it. And I have to remind myself, like, no, you're singing this version, not that version. Fleminem actually messed up Lose Yourself a little bit for me. So I was a little bit, I just wish he would have done something else. Like, if he could have done Till I Collapse, even if he did Godzilla, which is like his newest hit, if you will. Or actually, I guess that song Nat is, but I don't really care for that one as much. But if he had done pretty much anything out of his newer catalog, or even if he just brought it back, but not specifically to one of the top songs that they always make him play, it's always either Lose Yourself, The Real Slim Shady, or My Name Is. And I'm like, no, this guy can do so many different things. Right. Like, you cannot put this man in a cage like that. By the way, John, I just have to point this out. So I had said to Michelle before this all went down, I said, babe, I don't know what he's going to do, but he doesn't really like doing tours. He doesn't really like performing in concert form. And he's always been a rebel. He's always been a renegade. I wouldn't be shocked if this dude comes out there and pulls out his penis on live television because it's the Super Bowl halftime show, and he will get max criticism for it because that's what he enjoys. After everything was done, because it came out that he'd taken a kneel. And debate that all you will. We're not here to have that debate. But they were saying, well, I don't think the NFL actually was okay with him doing that. And I was like, yeah, I thought he was going to whip his dick out. So what I thought was way different. And then Dr. Dre, after everything was over, he had like his own little post-game interview kind of thing. And they asked him, hey, how hard was it to keep everybody in line for this? He goes, yeah, it was tough. Snoop wanted to take his shirt off, and then Em and Snoop also kind of wanted to pull out their dicks on national television. I'm like, I know my guy.
No,
I know my guy. I called it. He didn't do it, but I called it.
Oh my God, that is so funny.
Yes, John, I was infatuated with that halftime show, and I know we're going over time at this point. I know that you got to get to bed here soon, so we'll go ahead and close this out, but I would be absolutely remiss if I didn't bring up a little bit about the halftime show because I fell in love with it. I probably rewatched it on YouTube maybe 20 times in the last few days.
Colbs, we need to have a tour for those guys. They need to go out on
tour
my
together. God, I would buy those tickets right away.
I'm wondering if it's going to kind of have a resurgence of some of the early 2000s hip hop from hitting the road. And hopefully Ja is one of the pioneers of that. Come on, Ja. Come on, Ja. Akon.
Yeah, I'll take some new Akon. I'll take some of that.
I'm down with that.
He's busy building his own city right now.
True, for real. He's doing a lot of good things. So I'm sure a lot of those guys are too. So I want to see it. If Def Leppard and Poison and Motley Crue and Joan Jett can go out in this huge stadium tour, why not? Why not get the crew that was just at the Super Bowl halftime show?
I'm telling you, man. You give me those guys. You can keep Mary J in there if you want to throw in like a Jay-Z. Oh man, I got everything that I want in life.
You know what else you want in life? Some more Jacked and Canned. Ladies and gentlemen,
that's right.
This has been another episode of...
Well, first, make sure that you rate, subscribe, review, that you're coming and you're actually checking us out. Subscribe to the YouTube channel so you get updated as soon as we're breaking these things out live. So you know to come find us. Because John and I are having a hard time really scheduling these things. Yeah. So if you just subscribe to the YouTube channel, you will be immediately alerted. Jacked and Canned is going live, and you can come have fun with us. Get in the comment section and not be this one guy that keeps coming in here and using stuff that I don't know.
You could be another guy so Kobe can yell at you. So
No,
be that
no.
person.
See, I'm not gonna come in here and yell at you as long as you're being an actual fan. This guy comes in here and he has a name that doesn't make any sense, and it just says Vun FYI or FYL. I don't even know if that's an I or an L. But
Baby, don't say that out loud. We don't know what that means.
yeah,
so.
it's a good point. It's a really good point, John. That was irresponsible of me. I probably just said something terrible.
Oh, damn. We